everyone, back tuning into today's second video. I'm going to do the September month-ahead forecast, today's second video. We'll have a review of August, first of all. That was a bit of a disaster. I'll talk about that in a second. We will do a September forecast at the end of the video, have a sneak peek at October. It's the second video. The JMA Friday has already been released. That's on the homepage, so if you want to see what the Japanese and CFS V2 models are showing on a week-by-week basis, check out JMA Friday, which is on the homepage. We will be using CFS V2 actually for this video, but we won't break it down into weekly periods. We'll just have a look at the month-head 30-day anomalies. So, before I get on with the month-head forecast, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on the page. Just have a browse widgets and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be able to go off and read those articles. And thanks for doing that. You're helping to pay for our website. There's also video ads, most pages, which own content. When you watch my close book up again, it does all help to pay for GazWeatherVids.com. So, starting off with the situation for August. Now, the August forecast from GazWeatherVids was for a cooler and more unsettled month. And as I say, it's been a bit of a disaster. The central England temperature, I haven't got all the stats in yet, but the central England temperature for August comes out significantly warmer than average. We came out at 17.0, which is an anomaly of 1.2 degrees above average. Not only does that bust the August forecast, it also busts the summer forecast. So I'm going to verify the summer forecast in about a week's time when all of the facts and figures and stats are finalised at UK Met Office. We use our anomaly charts. But not a great forecast at all for August, quite obviously. It was, particularly for the south, quite a dry month, very warm month as well. A little bit better for the north, because there it was a bit cooler and more unsettled. But overall, I can't call that a successful month-ahead forecast. So, sorry about that. As I always say, long-range forecasting, highly experimental. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. The important thing is that we always evaluate the longer-range forecast and see how they did and possibly see where they went wrong. Essentially, much more anticyclonic month in August, with stronger ridging from the south and also from the east compared to what was expected. So, that closes the door on August. I say in about a week's time, we'll close the door on summer when we do the verification for the summer forecast. Right, let's get on with September then, and see if we can get a better forecast going for this month. So we're going to start off 700 millibar height anomalies for September from CFS V2 model. As you know, these blue extrapolates to low pressure and yellow, orange, red extrapolates to high pressure. So for September, the CFS V2 has a trough of below average heights to the northwest around Iceland, and then strong ridging through the south and to the east of the country, but jet stream generally going to the north rather like that. So it implies a warmer than average month on the way for September. Most unsettled conditions in the northwest, the driest conditions down in the south and the east. But essentially it would be a fairly dry month for England and Wales, particularly a little bit more unsettled for Scotland with above average temperatures. If you've seen excuse me, the JMA video that I did this morning with CFS V2 on a week-by-week basis, goes for some very warm conditions week by week, with a fair amount of dry weather at times as well, especially down in the south. Now, the temperature anomaly doesn't look anything particularly to write home about. For the month head, most of Europe comes out significantly warmer than average. I'm pretty sure just on the periphery of that, a little bit warmer in the southeast. I think that's a bit pessimistic. I would expect that we are likely to have at least around half a degree above average, probably around a degree above average temperatures based on what the model is doing. The precipitation anomaly, this one comes out a bit wetter than average in the west and the northwest, near and all elsewhere, drier than average through most of central, southern and southwestern parts of Europe. I think what's going on here is that the influence of the trough, remember it's got a trough of low pressure around Iceland, the influence of that is been a little bit overestimated. I think we need to strengthen the heights to the south more and push that up towards Scandinavia as well, and send the jet stream even further north into that sort of position. And that could give a wetter than average month for Northern Ireland and Western Scotland, but most places I would have thought likely to come out with average rainfall, possibly even drier than average. That's the CFS B2. Let's have a look at Beijing Climate Centre. These are 500 millibar height anomalies for the month. So this is the anomaly that it's going for September, very similar to CFS V2, but with one difference, and that is that the ridge to the south and to the east is more dominant, so it's a stronger ridge, essentially, which means that the low pressure in the Atlantic is a bit weaker, and the jet stream is going a bit further north than we see on the CFS V2. So that, I think, is more the way we're likely to go, at least for the first half of September anyway, with more of an influence from that ridging to the south and to the east of the country. That means that all places come out significantly warmer than average, going for temperatures of around 2, possibly 3 degrees above average. Most of Europe as well having very warm September. And the precipitation anomaly, and this looks a little bit more like what I expect, perhaps a bit wetter than average to the very far north and west, but actually most parts of the country coming out slightly drier than average. There's the scale on the side, so those pale cream colours are around 20% below average rainfall. Again, most of Europe, we've got that ridging coming out drier than average as well. I think the Beijing Climate Centre is closer to how things will be for the first half of the month, but the second half could be different. So I'm going to say we're going to have a warmer than average month and a drier than average month overall. That's because of this September forecast. I think in the first half of the month we could see those temperature anomalies, anything from around 1 to 2 degrees above average, so pretty warm first half of the month and quite dry as well. Now the second half of the month is more problematical because remember, September is a month that is very, very much influenced by Atlantic hurricanes. And of course, in the second half of September, we could be getting tropical storms and hurricanes that haven't even been seen by these longer range models, never mind where they're going to go and what impacts they're going to have. So it's very possible that these models for the anomalies that they've got for the whole month are going to be wrong for the second half of the month, because a big hurricane could do something unexpected and shake the whole thing up. So September, always a really tricky month to pin down, but I would have thought it is likely, no more than that, because it's a cooling time of year, would have thought it's likely that the second half of September will turn a bit cooler and probably more unsettled as well. Whether that's enough to offset what happens in the first half of the month, quite doubtful about that. So overall, the forecast for warmer than dry than average September. But don't be surprised if at some point, it could be quite late on into the month, but at some point I would have thought autumn is likely to kick in, at least for a while, and give a significantly cooler and more unsettled spell of weather. So it's a tricky forecast, as it always is this time of year. August, September, possibly a little bit October as well, are always the hardest months to pin down because of the influence of Atlantic hurricanes and the broader knock-on effect that they have, because the weather throughout the whole world is interlinked. So, for example, even the hurricane that we've got going into Florida and up into Southern America at the moment, it's not going to get anywhere near us, but of course that is going to impact the overall weather system, if you see what I mean, downstream through the Atlantic into Europe. Everything is interlinked in terms of the weather and the climate, so always very uncertain time of the year. So that's the Gales Weather September forecast. I think we're going to have a warmer, drier than average month, particularly so in the first half of the month. I would suspect, no more than that, it's a guess really, that will turn quite a bit cooler and more unsettled at some point in the second half of the month. Let's wait and see how it goes. Finally, a quick sneak peek at October, and this is it, and on the face of it, it's another very anticyclonic month. So again, the 700 millibar height anomaly shows above average heights across most parts of UK and Europe. The low pressure below average heights around Greenland, and the jet stream is being pushed to the north as well. So that looks again quite a warmish month and probably very dry as well. Remember, in October, of course, the nights are getting much longer, so you're impacted, if you're under high pressure, by increasingly cool, possibly even misty, foggy nights. But by day, you can still get it quite warm. We'll worry about October when we get to it. I think September is uncertain enough. So Before I go, in summary, JazzWeatherInstitute.com September 2016 forecast is for a warmer and drier than average month, particularly warm and dry in the first half, possibly turning more unsettled and cooler at some point in the second half. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.